What is happening, you Titan fans? Seems like I was right this time, but I think you're okay with being wrong. The Tennessee Titans take care of business and defeat the Falcons 28-23. And I think you could safely say both teams scored 10 more points than you would have expected.
Yeah,
I said 13-18. That sounds more accurate.
Yeah, I said 20-17, and I thought both that could be a little high for both teams. And then one scored 28, one scored 23, which is weird because if I said Titans was going to score 28 points, I'm like, okay, we would win that game comfortably, and it wasn't because our defense didn't do good. If someone told me before the game the Falcons would score 23, then I was like, oh, we're going to lose that game. So it was weird.
If somebody told me that Taylor Heineke and Will Levis was getting in a borderline shootout, like, what are you talking about? No, watching the same game I'm trying to watch here today. But yeah, there's really nothing else to say introduction-wise besides Tennessee gets it done. I thought we'd win, but I didn't think we'd be scoring no dang 28 points. What did I say? I don't remember. Also,
you said 16. I think you said 16-13, I think.
Something like that. But let's address the elephant in the room. My mic, as we speak, is falling. It broke, and I tried to tape it. But it's getting I'm literally getting to the point where I'm hunched back now.
I was like, your mouth is kind of getting out of the camera, though, bud.
Yeah, is it? Well, my camera is still in.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know what to do. Thankfully, that's not how Will Levis's NFL debut went. That's just how my camera's decided to go. It's broken, and I tried to tape it, and it's not working out too well. All right, I'll just hold it like this. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, we get the dub, but neither of us saw it coming the way it came. Like I thought we both thought no one was hitting 20, either side.
Yeah.
Ended up being a 28-23 game. So let's just talk about the elephant in the room.
That's the second time you used that line.
I mean, sometimes you gotta. Will Levis. Nobody expected that out of Will Levis. And no matter how optimistic of a Titans fan you are, I don't think anybody can truthfully say they saw that coming.
Yeah, because he probably had maybe, and I have to look up other quarterback stats, probably had the best week, I would say, this whole week of all quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
4 touchdowns is nice. 0 picks is nice. But the way he was throwing bombs, like quarterbacks don't usually just complete that many bombs like that. And
the dude was just airing it out.
Yes, and I like that. I love it. I hope Mike Vrabel doesn't try to coach that out of him because that just sounds like something he would do. But I love that. That was huge. And our offense needed a spark. And I'm beginning to think like Tannehill was a problem. I get maybe he just didn't like throwing it deep because Will Levis came in and started slinging it.
I feel like Tannehill wasn't seeing the field good this year. I like because if you get the All-22 film and watch it, there were so many times where there were open people, and he just wasn't looking their way.
Let's also address Will Levis not taking anything away from him, but his offensive line, that was the best game they played all year long.
It was by far the best, and I'm not really 100% sure why. Because like you would say, well, maybe NPF made that big of a difference coming in for Dillard, but sometime I think in the second half, Chris Hubbard went down. Yeah. So then they put Nicholas Petit-Frere back on the right side, and Andre Dillard came back on the left side. But that O-line was good. It gave up, I think, 2 sacks. One I really think was a busted play because like Will Levis was calling a whole bunch of audibles and stuff at the line, and Henry looked confused, and he snapped it and then fakes hands off to nobody that's even there because Derrick Henry had already ran off to the right to try to block somebody. So he fake hands off to nobody and then just like looks back and forth. The guy just runs up the middle and he gets like a 2-yard loss. That was the one sack. And then the other sack I wasn't against when it was 3rd and 4 on that last offensive drive of ours where he snapped it and nobody was open, so he basically just lays down.
But I mean, I'll say this: I wasn't against it in the sense that Will Levis made the right play, but I mean, the offensive line still messed up.
The offensive line still messed up, but like they didn't cost us the game because let's be honest, they've costed us games, they've cost us drives. Yeah. It's been bad.
I don't know why they decided to play so well today, but it helped Will Levis for sure because those, especially the touchdowns with Westbrook and Nikini, that was a time like that one took some time to throw. Like he went to the right side and he held it for a good bit before he threw it. You know what I mean? So he needed time for that. And what I like is he took it a hit on that one, but he stood there and delivered a beautiful pass.
Yeah, even after the touchdown, he's just laying there on his back, smiling, looking around like an idiot.
And what I hate is everybody in offense did well. I was pleased with the offensive line. I was pleased with Derrick Henry. I was pleased with Will Levis. Loved Hopkins. We had that big bomb, like I said, to Westbrook. But what I don't like is Traylon Burks. He just let me that whole game. Like you was the only one in this offense I could say you did bad. Because even Chig had a drop, but he did some good stuff. He had like 4 catches for something. And he had one that was a third down throw that Will Levis threw behind Chig. And he had to go slide down there and get it. So that was a good play. But what did Traylon Burks do? What did tell me one thing he did today that was good? Run over the referee?
I mean, I guess he technically picked up 4th and 3, but penalty happened, so it didn't count.
And also, you're a 4-star pick. You can't just do that and like, yep, I'm pleased to perform.
I mean, yeah, I agree that like I'm not trying to sit here and talk negative about the game. It was a great game. Loved watching it. A little bit nerve-wracking, more than I feel like it should have been, because I feel like we should have put them away.
That's something that scales me a little bit. Is we gotta know how to do that.
For whatever reason, Taylor Heineke just had his way with our defense. He was just passing all over, mostly the middle. I think he wasn't doing a lot of outside stuff. I think he was just passing in the middle of the field.
The only thing I will say is, we didn't prepare for this guy. That's the only thing I will say that,
Yeah, I'll try to cut us the slack there. Of course, and again, we actually are going to, now it's going to be something we'll talk about some other time, but we won't really know who to prepare for because Mr. Trubisky had to step in for Kenny Pickett because Kenny Pickett got hurt.
I would love it if it was Kenny Pickett. Nope, wrong name. I would like it if it was Mitch Trubisky, yeah.
I was about to say. I'm looking at the stats. Yeah, in one half, Taylor Heineke dropped 12 of 21, 175 yards and a touchdown. All of that in one half. So,
So, yeah, if we want to flip it and talk about the defense a little bit, that is one thing that does scare me a little bit. Our secondary is a little questionable.
Yeah, our secondary was the worst part of our defense, and then we traded away the best part of that secondary. Yes. So I'm a little confused about just.
I mean, I like Amani Hooker, but today was as quiet as game. I think I remember one time saying, "Oh, that was a good tackle." But I can't remember the play, but I just remember saying that by Amani Hooker. But today was as quiet as day, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so.
Was Bunting out there? Bunting Jr.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, I didn't see him do much.
Yeah, he was out there. I don't think they threw it his way too much. I know they did the one. They did the one play. I remember. I just remember seeing him. I think it was actually that last play.
Sorry, who allowed the touchdown?
Eric Garrer, which he actually I thought stepped in and played really well.
And special teams, he's better than Kyle Phillips too.
Yeah, I'll say.
I'm not upset with Eric Garrer. I thought he played fine. And honestly, even that touchdown play, he was kind of on him. It was a perfect pass by Taylor Heineke and a good catch.
Yeah, that was just a really, really good play right there. But yeah, let's go back to talking about Will Levis though. He played about as good of a game as he could have. I was very impressed. He made deep throws look easy.
He did.
He didn't look scared, because one issue I didn't like about him in his 14 snaps or 14 passes in preseason, he looked way too stiff and like nervous and uptight. And as soon as he'd throw, he'd miss it. He'd be all like mad and like, oh crap, I can't believe I just did that. And he looked too uptight, I guess, and kind of nervous. This game, he was just playing, smiling, look like he's having a good old time.
It's easy to smile when you're slicing and dicing like that.
I mean, it is, but at the same time, you got to start slicing and dicing to make you smile.
I'll say this. I'm a realistic fan, as you know, and I would say he did amazing today, but I'm still not going to get into the moment and just say, oh, he's our guy, because I hated when we drafted him. I hated it very much. I was very much against drafting him, and up to our last video we made, I was talking about, I wish we didn't draft him. You and I both said that. Like, oh, I just wish we didn't draft him. Well, he played lights out, and kudos to that. But I want to see you string some games together. You know what I mean? We're going to Pittsburgh on a short week. Let's see what he looks like then. Because he could easily, next week, could be 52% completions, 2 picks, and 0 touchdowns. He could easily do that next week.
I agree. He had a very nice atmosphere. He had Henry and Hopkins playing really good. You had Burks back, even if he didn't do anything. You had home field, nice weather. Everything was just in his favor, but now and nobody had tape on him. Not a single soul had Will Levis NFL tape. Now he's going against one of the best defenses in the league on a short week and it's an away game.
Mm-hmm.
So now everything that was stacked for him this game is going to be stacked against him. I agree with you. I am not going to be a prisoner in the moment. Still wish we wouldn't have drafted Will Levis. If he just continues to do, well, he can't. He won't continue to do this because nobody continues to do 4 touchdowns, 0 picks every week. Yeah. So, but like if he continues to look good, then I can slowly but surely change my tune. But I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment and say we're back, baby. I want to say we're back, but like.
And I would say, well, because at the end of the day, Saturday was 3-4, and the Jags keep winning. But I don't even want to talk about that right now. I just want to focus. Our young quarterback looked good, and I was impressed with that. But one thing I like is just the fact they threw the ball deep. The Titans do not have a deep ball. We don't have a deep ball anymore. And I didn't know it was coaching or Tannehill, and maybe it was Tannehill.
Might be Tannehill, because like he had obviously 2 bomb touchdowns to D-Hop. He had the bomb touchdown to Nick Westbrook-Akina. Then he had the 25, 30-yard game from Chris Moore, and that was more of a catch and run than it was a bomb. But then he had a bomb to Traylon Burks. So Traylon Burks, if he would just stretched out his arms, he would have been able to catch it before the DB knocked it down. But that was a beauty of a ball. Then he had the other bomb on the left sideline where Traylon Burks, I wish he could have drug those feet in. But, like, the dude was stretching it. And Traylon Burks could have helped him a lot. The dude was just stretching the field, and I love to see it. And I think that's why Derrick Henry was able to get so many 5- and 6-yard runs.
Yeah, because, I mean, when they had single coverage, we kept on beating them deep like that. So, eventually, hopefully, we'll just back the defense up just a little bit to help Derrick Henry out in that, I don't know why, but I felt it that Derrick Henry was going to pop one big. He was felt
close.
It, and he never did. But
he was so close so many times. People are grabbing his shoestrings. Now, obviously, but Derrick Henry had very much like if I was grading him, I'd definitely give him a B+.
Yeah,
maybe
he had.
I'll say B+. He had 100 yards and he did not have any touchdowns, so that's why I'm not going to give him an A. But he did have 4 catches for 21 yards to go on to that, so he had 122 all-purpose yards.
Yeah, I'd say. Sorry. But yeah, he did 100 yards the tough way. He did 100 yards just by 4 or 5 yards at a time.
He did.
Breaking a 40-yard run and nothing like that. He just did it the hard way.
Sometimes that's how it's going to be.
So how many times?
Go ahead.
Let's discuss our red zone offense, which is a huge issue with us. How many times did we get a red zone touchdown? I know D-Hop had one across the middle.
I think that's it. The other 3 were all bombs.
Bombs.
2 bombs.
Touchdown.
Actually, I guess, do we technically only get in the red zone once?
Yeah, because I know Folk didn't kick any field goals.
Yeah, Nick Folk did not kick any field goals because you have him on fantasy football. Mm-hmm. He literally 2 bombs to D-Hop, a bomb to Nick Westbrook-Akina, and then he had the one that was a catch and run from D-Hop, which is who I was getting ready to talk about next. D-Hop, showed off.
Yeah, my question, and this is now my question: did he play better than he's done all season, or did Will Levis give him an opportunity to play better? You know what I mean?
I'm actually hoping the second one because I don't want that to be just a good flare up. I want this to be like this is who he is. But here's the thing, though. If you're talking DeAndre Hopkins, let's see if I can pull it up in 20 seconds. It's not going to show his game by game unless I go searching far and wide for it. But if you take away the Ravens game, he had 128 yards and 3 touchdowns this week. And then forget the Ravens game. But then against the Colts, he had 140 yards.
He played well that game,
yeah, he did. So that's 2 out of the 3 games he played extremely, extremely well.
Yeah, so good job, good on him. I'm just hoping, again, like you said, Will Levis is not going to be. You can't say keep it up with 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. Picks will come and his touchdowns will go down. But I'm hoping to see more of that because we talked about it, especially during the preseason. But Will Levis, 1 game he played in preseason wasn't great. He had a lot of missed passes. He had 1 pick and 1 should have been picked.
Yeah, I think he was 9 of 14, 1 pick, no touchdowns. Should have had at least 1 more pick.
And then in the middle, he missed that wide open guy down the middle. So he had a bad game.
I only saw 1 pass that Will Levis missed today, and that was the deep one to Nick Westbrook-Akina. Like, besides that, can you think of passes where he just missed it?
Which makes me wonder why people was getting open, because that play, he had like 3 steps on the cornerback, so he was open deep. So I wonder, this is my opinion, or not my opinion, but my thought, though, process. does Tannehill not have a strong arm anymore? Because I said that during the Saints game that I read that someone was talking about he doesn't look like he has a strong arm anymore. Makes me wonder if Kelly was not calling deep routes because he knew Tannehill couldn't push it down deep.
But he can though. That's what's weird about me. Like that pass he threw to Traylon Burks. It was a 70-yard pass.
No, that's true. He did do that.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, what?
I'm still thinking, Will Levis was not just throwing deep, but we kept on having deep routes. So I almost was Kelly calling different plays and having more people run deep routes with Will Levis because Will Levis does have a strong arm. But because my thing is, if he was just now start calling deep routes, why wasn't he doing it with Tannehill?
I don't know. But I will say I love that quick throwing motion Will Levis has too. Because there'd be times where there's people in his face, like honestly several of the touchdowns where people in his face, and he goes from the right in his face just so quick, somehow just flicks that wrist and it just goes flying.
That is a nice thing to have. Mariota had a quick release, and I like that.
Mariota did. But like Tannehill, I don't think Tannehill really has a it's not necessarily slow, but it's not fast either.
Yeah.
But Will Levis, even when I was very, 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 very anti Will Levis, I did like his quick release. Now again, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I interrupted you a couple times. And every time you was a gentleman, let me go first.
I was just gonna say I'm not being a prisoner of the moment and crowning him king, but at the same time, we have one game, and I think he delivered. If I was giving him a rating, I would give him an A+. 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, 28 points. Like, what more do you want from him?
It's funny you said that because I was actually going to ask you soon, but what would you rate him? I would give him an A, and you might say, why A? Just because A obviously is a really good game. He had one that not just could have been picked, should have been picked. It was just an awful pass. And he had couple. Even the D-Hop second touchdown was actually, more I looked at the replay, was a bad pass. Because Hopkins had to do a real torque to his body to catch that one. So that was a great.
That was a little target. Let me put it this way. Burks would have dropped that.
Yeah,
Chig would have dropped that.
Chig had to make that one amazing catch. Remember, that was a third down, and he had time, a healthy block, and he threw it really down low that Chig had to go get. Yeah. And then the one Chig dropped, should have caught, by the way, but that was behind. So he had a couple behinds, and so I feel like A+ is a near perfect game. He had just some throws. I'm like, okay, so maybe I'm being harsh, but I give him an A, not A.
I'll bring it down to an A. Simply because we didn't score 30 points.
Yeah, there you go.
If we would have done 30+ points with 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, I would give him an A+. But yeah, I've got to go A. But at the same time, a quarterback we didn't want in his NFL debut against a sneaky, really good, borderline elite. Yeah, especially their secondary. So I'll take it.
Someone else I want to talk to, bring attention to him because I don't know if I even said this on camera, but I've said this 7 times to you off air. But someone I've been very disappointed this year. He's been very quiet. Is Jeff Simmons? He had a good game.
And Harold Landry.
Sack, what? And Harold Landry. Yes.
And Harold Landry, the two of them.
Simmons knocked the ball down at the line. He showed up. He flashed today. He hasn't flashed as much this year, but today he flashed. You're right. Harold Landry got a sack or 2 sacks. 2. So
Which means in the last 2 games he's got 3 sacks.
So that's good. So maybe he's getting going now. But he had 2 sacks, and then he had one that I'm okay with them honestly throwing a penalty on that because I think the second sack he should have been throwing a penalty on. They didn't. Yeah. So I'm okay with him throwing that penalty. But he's at least getting past the offensive line, so that's good.
My father-in-law, who's a Steelers fan, just texted me and said, "I think you might get a free win next week." Because that'd be nice. But anyways. I agree. Jeffrey Simmons, huge contract. He was the huge contract guy this year. Harold Landry was a huge contract guy last year. Like we basically handed out 2 big contracts the last 2 seasons. Those are the 2 guys they've underwhelmed up to this point, but they both come in getting 2 sacks. Landry also had 5 tackles, and Simmons had 6. So they both filled it up. And then good old faithful Danico Autry adds to his sack total. I think has the most sacks on our team of the year so far.
We have 5 sacks.
I think Danico has 5. Landry, I think, had 2 coming in, and now he's up to 4. Simmons, I think, had 3. So actually, Simmons might be up to 5. So it might be a 2-way tie between Simmons and Autry. But then Arden Key, he's still being way too quiet for my liking. He had a sack and a half in week 1 and hasn't had a single sack since. But at the same time, at this point, if I'm trying to find something bad to talk about, I just feel like it's unnecessary. Now, actually, I say that, but like our secondary is still very suspect.
That's the glaring thing. We have a lot. The pass rush look good to me. The offense look good to me. That secondary scales me. That scales me. Heineke, who's a good backup, but he torched it pretty dang good.
Yeah, because Desmond Ridder, we kept him, right where we wanted him. But when it comes to
just a
Heineke, the whole
quarterback.
offense just looked different, completely looked different, and they just was able to walk, honestly, down the field.
They ran it a little better than I would like.
They did, but mostly it was just Bijan, because I was actually looking at that earlier. If I can get it to pull back up, my phone's being stupid. There we go. Player stats. Yeah, because Bijan Robinson was 11 for 62 and a touchdown, 5.6 average. So we didn't really have an answer for him.
If you ask me,
I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. T. Algier, I don't know. He was 8 for 31, so he only had a 3.9, so he wasn't anything special. Cordell Patterson was just 2 for 7, so that wasn't good either. But Bijan kind of had her number there for a bit.
That's a whole different topic. But I just wonder why Arthur Smith didn't let him more.
I don't know.
He don't play as much as he should. But hey, that's different.
Like he had 11 carries. 11 carries on 5.6 with a touchdown. Like why don't you keep feeding it to him?
Yeah. And that's another thing I learned to stop. All of a sudden, it started off good, but all of a sudden our run defense don't look great lately.
Yeah, I was hoping it was because Tart being out, but Tart was back in and Bijan Robinson looked pretty good. But yeah.
Did Jack Gibbons not get a sack? Or did he get a sack and they called a penalty though?
I think he did get a sack.
Okay, so how many sacks did we get today?
5 or 6.
Well, Harold Landry has 2, Simmons has 1, Autry has 1, Gibbons has 1.
Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and look through it right now. 2 for Simmons, 2 for Landry, that's 4. 1 for Gibbons, that's 5. 1 for Autry, that's 6. And that looks like it's 6.
6. That's pretty good, though.
I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it.
But what I do like is Titans didn't turn the ball over any. We didn't get that many penalties called on us, so Mike Vrabel will be happy with that.
Yeah, Vrabel hates some penalties. How many penalties was there? Do you know?
I don't remember exactly, but I just remember thinking, they haven't called too much on us. They could have called one on D Hop on that first touchdown, but I'm glad they didn't.
I'll hit it with overview real quick. I think that might tell us. No, we got total yards, we beat them. Passing yards, we beat them. Rushing yards, we beat them. Yards per play, we beat them. So there's that. That helps.
Like we played a better game, but the only thing I could say, we didn't have a kill instinct. We could not put them away.
No, I agree.
Because even that last drive, technically they could have won it on that last drive.
I agree.
They dropped the ball, so they gave it to us. But so it's just like
we had 6 penalties.
Oh, that's more than I thought.
Yeah, they only had 3, so 9 is all there was all the game. That's good. Actually, I feel weird saying this, but I said it several times. I think that was a well officiated game.
We don't say that much.
We don't say that much, but like there would be several times where they would throw a penalty, and then we're like, "That's not a penalty," and then
which I don't normally see refs do that.
But and then they waved it. Like remember the bomb with Hooker.
Yeah.
Or like they basically both were running. They saw the ball in the air. They both turned around. Both of them just fell on the ground for some reason.
Yeah.
And then they just do a penalty. And there was little or no contact. So that was a good idea to wave it and bag no penalty. So good job. Well refereed. Officiated. Well officiated game.
At least we won in our, which I don't care as much as some people, but a lot of people do care. But at least we won in our almost like homecoming game with our Houston Oilers jerseys and got all the greats there and stuff. So at least we won for them. So that's nice.
Yeah.
The only thing
is nice to see.
We talked about this before. Titans are a different team at home and on the road. Because technically right now we're 3-1 at home, but we're 3-0 because one's in London. There's no reason to say that was more home than the Ravens was home.
Okay, let's put it this way. We're 3-0 at Nissan Stadium. We're 0-4 outside of Nissan Stadium.
Which that's actually shameful. But sadly, we're going to Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh is a tough place to play. So good luck with Levis. I'm hoping offensive line can protect him. Now this is gonna be, I should probably say this to preview, but I'm afraid TJ Watt's gonna just destroy us that game.
There's also a chance we're not able to do a preview. I was thinking of that as a Thursday night game because we're both working Monday, we're both working Tuesday, we're both working Wednesday, and then we drive up on Thursday to see it in person.
Well, what time are you coming here to? Well, we'll talk about this off air, I guess. But I said maybe we could do one in the morning, but we'll see.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we're actually going to the game. It's gonna be fun. We live about 2.5, 3 hours away from the Pittsburgh Stadium. So We're gonna go. My wife bought us tickets. We're gonna go. It's gonna be fun.
Glad we won this game. Then, if we lost this game, I would want us to lose the rest of our games. So I would be
say if we were sitting at 2-5, we probably would have traded DeAndre Hopkins and or Derrick Henry, maybe Danico Autry. We'd be awful sellers, and then we'd be like, we're just here for the experience, I guess, because I don't know if I even want to win this game. So
yes. So at least we got some win in the sales.
Wind in the sails, yeah. Got some wind in the sails
and
momentum.
hopefully we can carry that on. But have we won 2 games in a row? We have not won our 2 games in a row this year, right?
It's hard to find dubs if you're a Titans fan these days. So getting them in a row, no.
Yeah, but I hate to say it. Pittsburgh lost. We lost. No, we won. But I have a feeling the Steelers are going to have this be a get back right game. You know what I mean? Get back on the winning, because you got technically a 3-4 team with a rookie quarterback on a short week coming in town. That sounds like recipe for success. Of
course, they also may be stuck with Mitch Trubisky as well.
Yeah, that's going to be something to keep an eye on.
Which I don't love Kenny Pickett, but I think he's better than Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, I do. Again, I told you this before, but apparently Kenny Pickett's got a clutch gene that I don't think Trubisky really has. So, and that's if we get ahead of Steelers, let's get ahead of Steelers, because I don't want them to have, if Kenny Pickett's playing, I don't want to give him a chance to be clutch. So, especially with our questionable secondary.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to think. We've only been going for about 26 minutes, but I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else we need to say, because we basically talked about all the things that made us win with the Will Levis, the D-Hop, the Derrick Henry running solid, not elite, but solid. We talked about our secondary being an issue, but our pass rush finally came to life. I'm trying to figure out if there's really anything else to talk about.
I mean, that might be all. That
might be all. So I guess there's no sense in us talking just to talk. So, hey, it was nice getting a dub. Felt like it technically hasn't been that long, but I guess we had a bye week and then 2 losses. So I guess the win against the Bengals does feel like a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
So it felt good to get a dub.
Well, it's been a month. Because you got 2 losers, a bye, and then a week later to play this game. So it's been about a month.
True. So yeah, it felt good to get a dub finally. So hopefully we can carry some momentum, see if we make something out of this season. So we'll talk to you either a little preview somewhere, or it'll just be a reaction of this game, or the Steelers game. So peace out, and we'll see you later.